I like Eddie Jones as a guy and a coach. He's a very experienced coach. I don't think he's brought these young players in based on the next World Cup. He knows, I know, any professional coach knows he'll be judged on this Six Nations. So he's picked his strongest team. And also that, it's okay, yeah, we've got some new players coming in, which is good. There's also some big name players who haven't been picked, meaning young players. This Dubrant, the guy who plays for Harlequins, number 8, I'd have certainly picked him. So there's a lot of young players who haven't made it. So at the end of the day, I don't think, and he knows this, the Six Nations is not a development squad. He's not picked a team or a squad based on, the next World Cup in France in 4 years' time. He's picked a squad that can beat France in France. I think the fascinating thing to me, that the big selection will be a 10 and 12. I like both players. I like Owen Farrell, George Ford. These are great players. And it's a really strange conundrum because I've always tried to sort of say I really do believe Farrell should play 10 because I think he's one of the best players in the world in that position. When he's playing inside centre, he's still good enough to be in the England team, but he's not one of the best players in the world. I think, but then you saw George Ford play so well against New Zealand in that semi-final. You've gone, wow, Eddie's right here. This works. He's playing two real footballers at 10 and 12, which I've always kind of supported. But I just think after that loss, I've sort of swung. Okay, we've got to get back to. Every team that wins a World Cup has an amazing player at 10, amazing player. My time with Johnny Wilkinson, we had the best player in the world in that position. Every World Cup final team, Dan Carter, think of all the great teams who've won. I think Farrell's that good, but his best position is 10. So personally now, I would put Ford on the bench and bring him on when you need to bring him on, if you need to bring him on. I'd start with Farrell at 10. I don't think he'll do that. I think he's quite stubborn, Eddie, in his selection. I think he'll go back to, no, that was my best team. And I think he will go with Ford and Farrell. But personally, I would go with Farrell at 10. But Ireland, home to Scotland, I just think with the new head coach, new team, he's gone for a fairly experienced team, if we're brutally honest. He's not made any big changes so far. I think Ireland will roll Scotland in that first game. Once you win that first game, you're up and running. So I'm expecting Ireland to go well. And again, a bit like England, the players must be shaking their heads and go, why did we just not perform at the World Cup? And they didn't. They beat Scotland, then got beat by Japan. But they've got a good team. Ryan, especially, their young second row. They've got a couple of real superstar players in there, and I think they'll go well. I think it'll be a good season for Ireland. Again, Finn Russell's a great player. Scotland need him at his very, very best. Just go well done to the coach. He deserves a massive pat on the back, whatever happens at the weekend. Hastings will come in, I guess, the young Scot coming in, who's obviously played against his dad and all that sort of stuff. I think it'll make a difference. I really do, because Scotland's a bit like Italy. They've got a good starting 15, but you can't knock out your key player, and that will reverberate. And I can't see Scotland getting past that first weekend, which is going to make it tough on Townsend after a poor World Cup. But I just can't see how Scotland could beat Ireland in that first game. So Pivac coming in, but he's a bit the opposite of Andy Farrell in many ways. But I think you win more games by your ability to select the right team, as opposed to your ability as a coach. Selection is so important. So he comes in with a lot of credits, I think. I think the Welsh players will like him coming in. Alan Wynne-Jones is still there. Tipuric is one of my all-time favourite Welsh players. He's still there. But, Rhys Zammit's been getting this young kid from Gloucester who's just 19 years old. I hope he starts. We haven't seen the Welsh team yet. But, Wales, again, I said about that first weekend, home to Italy. So I'm just hoping we see a different Wales in terms of the way they play. And they do pick a kind of a younger team, especially this kid from Gloucester on the wing. I think he's special. He's 19. So I hope he starts, and I hope he doesn't bottle it on selection and doesn't go too conservative and stamp his own mark on this team. Because France are either going to come top or last. It's as simple as that. I hate the term which French team are going to turn up. I'm really not going to even go down that. I really do think France will beat England at the weekend, which I'm always, leading with my heart on these terms with England. I always see England winning every game they play in, but I've just got a feeling this is something special happening in French rugby. I think it's going to be exciting French teams. I can see France winning against England. If they win, I think they're going to top the table, and it's as simple as that. So that first game is massive. If they lose to England, they could very well come bottom of the table. But I think there's something good happening in French rugby, which, even from an English point of view, I'm pleased about, because I think the Six Nations does need a spark. We need something really to happen in the Six Nations, because, let's face it, another World Cup was won by some hemisphere teams. So we need France to go well. And I've just been to see, if England can win at the weekend, that's going to be massive. That's going to be one of Eddie Jones's biggest ever accomplishments. And well done if they can do that. But I think France will eventually, they'll top the table for the Six Nations. I think Ireland will go well, because I think they'll start well. I think they'll beat Scotland. So I think Ireland will come in runners up. I think England will be mid-table with Wales. And unfortunately, I just can't see Scotland and Italy being able to then sort of propping up the table again. And I think from Italy's point of view, I really do think with the Six Nations, we all love the tradition of the Six Nations, but I generally do believe the Six Nations has got to change. Meaning, there's got to be promotion and relegation. I don't think it's helping Italy, because I think it's making them kind of soft. Meaning, there's no relegation. The Six Nations will be here next year. I think there needs to be promotion and relegation to the Six Nations to allow the likes of Georgia, Romania, these countries a real chance. Because I don't think it's helping. I was there when Italy came into the Six Nations. That opening weekend is everything, and from an English point of view, it doesn't get any tougher than France away.